Hi, my name is Kathy Tippler, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker.
So I'm Donna Tickner. I'm I'm the lead psychiatrist here at GW, and I've been here for 7 years.
I'm Dawn Johnson. I'm a staff clinician at Mental Health Services. I was a doctoral intern last year. I've been here just over a year.
Hi, my name is Amber Cargill, and I have been at GW's for 4.5 years. I'm the Assistant Director for Training and Education.
My name is Katie Green. I'm an LPC and I'm a staff clinician here. I've been here since August of 2016.
My name is Alex Safra. I'm a staff clinician here at George Washington. I'm in my 4th year here. I started as a postdoc and then was subsequently kept on as a clinician.
So my name is Dr. Melinda Williams-Gray. I'm a staff clinician here at Mental Health Services, and I've been here since fall 2014.
So I'm Jen Mustafa. I'm a licensed graduate professional counselor here at MHS, and I have been here since June of this year.
So my name is Sarah Hart. I'm the Assistant Director for Outreach and Prevention here at Mental Health Services.
Hi, I'm Cami Sidman. I'm a licensed graduate professional counselor and a new staff clinician here as well. I also spent last year doing my master's internship here.
When I started Step Care was brand new. We'd traditionally been running a wait list of about 250 students this semester, and waits were anywhere from about 10 to 15 business days between when a student came in and when they were assigned to a clinician.
I arrived here this semester before the launch of the stepped care model. And so when I started here, I really learned the model in what we call the old way, which is that I would have times blocked out on my calendar where I would have somebody would assign me cases, and I would show up on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday and look at my calendar, and I'd have a name pop up in my calendar, and that would be my new person, and that person would also have automatically 6 appointments scheduled on my calendar.
So before, when I first started, it was not uncommon for us to be running a triple-digit wait list, for us to be receiving angry phone calls and really bad press in the newspaper for people waiting 6 to 8 weeks for appointments. It was very, very, very stressful. Our system beforehand was one where students would do an initial consult, and then we would just automatically send them to our case assignment team, and then our case assignment team would schedule them with the available clinicians as their schedules opened up. Just wasn't a sustainable model.
I was a little comforted by the fact that I could just rely on somebody else to give me those clients, and that I knew what I was doing because that my calendar was done for me, and I didn't have to think about it. But I also felt a little bit limited in my options for working with students.
The big problem that we were running into is that we just had too much demand for what we could provide with the clinicians that we had, and so within 2 or 3 months of the fall semester starting, we were running wait lists that were up in almost around 100 students, and that just wasn't great for the students. It was taking many students several weeks to get in, and so students may have lost motivation for treatment during that time, or may have just had to kind of wait, and we weren't always able to keep track of how they were doing during that time period, which wasn't great for us from a clinical perspective or even from a legal perspective to not know exactly what was going on with those students while they were on our wait list.
My understanding of why the step care has come into place is because of just the high volume of students coming in, and so we certainly saw that. And before step care, there could be a long wait to get people into mental health services, and we certainly saw that in psychiatry. When we would try to refer people over, we knew about halfway through the semester it would be hard to get people into regular therapy. So it's nice not to have a waiting list.
So in the beginning, I felt like the step care model was quite overwhelming, not really sure how it was going to work. But as I began using it, I really saw its usefulness, and that not every client really needs to be in our chairs 6, 8, 12 sessions. Sometimes they just need support for the moment. Sometimes they just need brief check-ins, and when they come in, they seem to be very satisfied with the idea of the flexibility, especially with the student schedule, and how crazy their schedules can be.
The step care approach has been how I've been trained. And what I find with it is that it's sort of a touch point for me to keep going back to. You know, there's a tendency to sort of say, oh, you know, well, I could see you forever, but it is that sort of impetus that makes me say, hey, no, I actually have to think about what are the goals for this client, what does each person really need, and what's going to help them. And it really helped me, I think, in learning to do quick assessment, to really come in with that in mind with clients, because it forces you to think about, you know, how am I meeting this individual's needs.
And I was trained in the traditional sense of counseling. So as a licensed professional counselor, we were sort of trained in the long-term therapeutic approach. So when I came to GW, I had some hesitation but excitement about the short-term step care model, because I felt like it was sort of asking me to write with my left hand when I was really right-handed. And so I wasn't sure what it would look like, and I didn't want clients to feel like they were abandoned halfway through what they were expecting out of care. But then with the training that Peter Cornish, so having Peter Cornish come and explain it in his own words was extremely helpful. And then I think having staff and supervisors who also admitted that they had struggled with the transition, but had how much it had actually helped them in their practice, really made it comfortable for me to go ahead and use this in my everyday practice.
And the working groups were made up of all of our senior staff clinicians to work on developing the other steps in the step care model. And that was probably the most difficult process of establishing the step care, because there were lots of people on staff who said they didn't have the training to do that. They didn't feel as though they knew how to create other steps, felt that their comfort in providing therapeutic services was in individual and interpersonal and relational, ongoing individual sessions, and that it almost felt like it was undermining their expertise as therapists, to ask them to do things that felt like case management, things that didn't feel as meaningful to them as their individual sessions.
So it's been really useful in terms of just helping clients to know that they're well supported and resourced here, and also for those who need a little bit more, we give them that little bit more until we connect them with someone else. But the idea is that students haven't had to wait as long, and that's been a lot of relief for us as clinicians, and seemingly very relieving for the students too.
And now, after implementing step care, we're on our 4th consecutive semester of no wait list at all. So right now we're seeing, again, about 65 new walk-ins each week and about 400 appointments total with about 15 clinicians. But by being able to meet with each student and determine their individual needs, while they do still get an option for 6 hours of therapy, I would say that some of my students come in and really do feel supported in just 1 or 2 sessions. And so then that frees up my schedule to see other students who have greater need for a little bit longer.
But now, you know, when we see students, we really have a wide range of services that we can offer them, including some students really want to only meet every other week so they can extend their eligibility time. Some students really only have time for a half an hour session, or at least that's all they're willing to commit to. And we can do that now, whereas we didn't have the structure in place to do that before. So
I like the step care model that in the way that you can be really flexible and really creative with each individual client.
As a lot of people are talking about the positives of step care, I'm going to talk about some of the criticisms that we've struggled with. I think some of the important things that we still need to work out is making sure that students do get connected to outside care. So I think what's really important in the initial session is to develop, that first assessment is important because students, the assessment needs to be taken so we really have a good sense of what the student needs. what kind of therapy would be appropriate for that particular student, developing a good initial rapport so there's trust to be able to follow through on that assessment.
Model, in my opinion, is that I feel like it makes therapy more efficient and that change happens potentially more quickly when we have individualized treatment plans that are set by the client and the therapist in collaboration, and the client is really clear about what they want to work on and that we're always making progress to that goal.
So I've appreciated it.
Do that before. So I'm a fan. I'm training my interns to get used to this concept.
And I would say that overall I've been really happy with it. I think it's been a positive change for the center and for the students here.
We've also really fleshed out our other resources here, our discussion series, our group therapy program, which is something I really like. And we have about 11 groups working right now, and a few more that will start later in the semester. Everything from eating disorders, substance abuse, a lot of interpersonal process groups. Looking at the numbers now, about 80% of our students express feelings of loneliness, and about a third of the students coming in express suicidality. So getting students into care very quickly has been really important, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback from the students on the services.